And that is about $30 per hour, which makes it about $62,290. As I was doing my research, I saw where it went from as low as $30,000 per year to $77,000 per year. $30,000 to $77,000 is a wide range. So you got to know how you're going to position yourself, because do you want that 30,000 or do you want that 70,000? Those are two different lifestyles. If that company's not willing to give you that $60,000 that you want to be an HR specialist, that's just not the company for you. Cool? All right. Hey y'all, this is Tamika, the face behind Hey HR, and today we are going to continue this wonderful series of talking about every single HR position that is in the HR department. And I say every single, but I mean, we're clumping them together. So if you've seen the last video about the HR career ladder, then you know that I am kind of grouping them according to entry-level, mid-level, and leadership roles. In this video, we are not putting them all together. The last video was all about HR coordinator. This video is all about HR specialist. So we're now going to talk about what it takes to be an HR specialist in the HR department and, like, you know, get your career rolling. HR specialist, it could be considered a very, very entry-level position. Overall, this position requires a lot of coordinating, a lot of documenting, a lot of recording, a lot of recruiting, screening, interviewing, a lot of training others. And maybe on very minor tasks, it wouldn't be super duper detailed tasks, but you'll definitely train others. A lot of coordinating in and outside of the department. So I said coordinating, but what are you coordinating? What are you documenting? You're documenting employee records. You're recording employee information. You're doing whatever the company may need to keep track of this information. And you're definitely supporting a specific area of HR. So unlike the HR assistant, who's kind of just helping either the HR director, someone in the HR department, or the entire HR department, the HR specialist is helping in a specific area of HR. So traditionally, this person is supposed to work on one part of HR over and over. So, you know, in HR, you have benefits and compensation, you have training and learning development, you have your terminations, and you have performance evals. You just have different parts of HR that makes up the whole human resources. And traditionally, this person is supporting one part. So a lot of times you would hear them also called benefit specialists or training specialists or recruiting specialists, because the HR specialist is literally what the title says. They're specialized in one area of HR, not one duty, not one task, but one specific part of HR that makes up the entire HR department. But first, I'll tell you guys that traditionally with this position, it is expected that you have an associate's or a bachelor's degree. And people may say, well, Tamika, I don't have a degree in HR. It's absolutely okay. HR degrees are still fairly new. A lot of schools are popping up with them, but they haven't had them for a long time. So it's not saying that you need a specific HR degree, but you definitely want to have that experience in getting an associate's or a bachelor's degree, because overall it gives you so many extra information that helps build those transferable skills. So that's the main reason why you need a degree. People always get a little excited, like, should I get the degree? Should I get the certification? Get what works for you. I definitely did a video about HR versus certification, and so you guys should definitely check it out. I want you guys to see how serious I am, that it totally depends on you and how you position yourself when you apply, when you do that resume. It's not specific. Every HR is a little bit different. And so there's some transferable skills, right? So we talked about getting this degree will help you get those transferable skills. Those transferable skills are primarily administrative skills, reading comprehension, working with computers, so definitely having a tech acumen. And it's very important that you have experience in human resources in some type of way or another. I mean, just think about it. You go to the family doctor, right, and they tell you something's wrong. And so the family doctor knows about the entire body, but they don't work specifically on the muscle in your arm or the nervous system, right? So they send you out to a specialist who works particularly on those muscles in your arms all day long. Every patient they see is constantly that. So they've really gotten that experience, that practice where it should be. So would you want to have an HR specialist who is specializing in something? but has never worked in HR before. Traditionally, you know, those specialists that you see at the doctor's office, it's because they've been working in medicine for quite some time. They've learned the whole body. This is just the area that they want to work on over and over again. So that's the same way for HR. You guys want to make sure that you have some type of HR experience before you dive into a specialist position. Otherwise, your learning curve is just going to be a little bit longer. Obviously, it's not like a doctor where you're going to hurt somebody, you're going to kill somebody, something going to happen. No, it's luckily not that deep, not that serious. But I will say that it would make it so difficult, and it'll make it feel like this isn't even the career for you. So I always suggest kind of getting yourself prepared, because you don't want to dump into something and then now you're in misery because you keep making the same mistakes. People don't have the answers when you need them, or they don't have the answers at all, or you're doing more research than you're doing working. And so you definitely want to have some HR experience. Now, the compensation for this position, this is like a median national salary for the US. And that is about $30 per hour, which makes it about $62,290 per year. And that's an average, right? So as I was doing my research, I saw where it went from as low as $30,000 per year to $77,000 per year. And so that's more of a range, right? So I really like giving ranges, but as I'm doing my research, it's so difficult to really narrow it down. So I got a national median there. $30,000 to $77,000 is a wide range. So you got to know how you're going to position yourself, because do you want that $30,000 or do you want that $70,000? Those are two different lifestyles. And so make sure that you do your research, make sure you're comfortable in your space, make sure that you know how much money you need to take home so that you know exactly where you want to be, because people are always like, well, how much should I ask for? You see that national range? That means companies across the nation are offering anywhere from $30,000 to be an HR specialist all the way up to $77,000 to be an HR specialist. You have to figure out where you're comfortable. If that company's not willing to give you that $60,000 that you want to be an HR specialist, that's just not the company for you. Cool? All right. Because I feel like I keep saying that over and over again. And so I need to say it again. Some similar titles to HR specialist position would be like I already said, a benefits specialist or recruiting specialist or training, or even an analyst. So an analyst really goes a step further than specialist. So it's not a bad thing if you make sure to look for, no, it's not a bad thing. If you're looking for an analyst position, you should definitely be on the higher end of that salary range. An analyst is not just specializing in doing the same thing over and over, but they're going through to say, where are things right? Where are things wrong? How can we fix this? What is the information that we've gotten back from doing this and this over and over and over again? So you definitely want to be on a higher end if you're an analyst. So roles that you can transfer to next after being an HR specialist is an HR generalist, a talent acquisition professional, or even an HR manager. It's expected that after you've done an HR specialist job, you've already kind of touched the whole HR before you went into this HR specialist position. So if that's as an HR coordinator, an HR assistant, where you've had some familiarity, you're familiar to some type of way with the HR department. So now you're specializing in this area. It's a good time to pivot into being an HR generalist. Like, don't think, to me, I don't know enough about HR. A lot of HR generalists don't know when they start. It's absolutely okay to learn. And a lot of things will change consistently. Your employees will change, your benefits will change, your programs will change, your leadership will change. And so it's going to constantly change anyhow. So why do you want to know all that you need to know for that particular position? And it's going to change again. Another thing is just laws are changing. Companies are changing. And so overall, you're going to always experience changes in HR. I've had that throughout my entire career. 10 years of constant change if it's with the same organization or a different one. And so don't feel like I need to know everything, because you never will know everything. Things are going to change again. Cool. So if you already worked as an HR specialist, do just like I did. I left from being an HR specialist and I went to being an HR generalist. And I was so comfortable. Technology skills that you need as an HR specialist is going to be more of those business intelligence and data analyst kind of software that you use. So most of that is in your human resources information system anyhow. The most common HR software, human resources information systems that you use are the most common ones that's used across the United States is ADP, Kronos, Oracle, Taleo. And so those are kind of where you want to be. If you haven't ever used any of those systems, don't feel like you don't know them. It's just like, a new phone. They all the same. You just got to learn where things are. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like that. It's just like when Google may do an update on their emails. it's still the same email. You just got to figure out, where did they move things? How did they make things a little bit easier? Can I still get to them quick? Don't feel bad if you're like, well, Tamika, you just named these systems that I never use. I'm going to do that in every single video, or at least I've done that in the last 3. And it's absolutely okay if you have not touched those systems, because honestly, every company has something different. You're going to run into some organizations that have their developers and their organization create a system for you. You just don't have to know specifically those. I wanted to give you an example of the most commonly used ones. So y'all, we have wrapped up talking about HR specialists. We are definitely on a roll. We've already covered HR assistants. We've covered HR coordinators. We've covered HR specialists. And now we're moving on to HR managers, HR directors. So if you are not subscribed, you definitely want to subscribe. But more so than that, you want to make sure that you hit those alerts, because another video is coming out. We're going to do this every Tuesday and Thursday. If we're not live on Thursday, then there's definitely going to be a video on Thursday. For those of you who are new, I hope y'all getting what you need, because your girl is dropping nothing but the gems. But for those of you who are returning, I absolutely appreciate you, and it's a blessing to have you on this growth of Heyyy HR and where we're going, what we're doing. I'm overwhelmed each time I look at the growth from where I was a year or 2 ago, and it couldn't have been done without you. So I definitely appreciate it. Y'all already know what time it is. Y'all know, as usual, I cannot wait to see y'all on the next video.